Hello and welcome back to the table where we talk about issues that are impacting Black, brown, and queer communities. And today we're joined at the table with serial entrepreneur Sir Ken and content creator and Atlanta personality Candidly Said. And gentlemen, we're going to go right into it because we have a lot of really serious issues that hit last week between last week's episode and this week's episode, really starting about how your president has gone to the sovereign nation of Venezuela and launched an attack that has resulted in the abduction or extraction, if you want to use that word instead, of their president and the first lady of the nation, causing possible instability with looming threats against other nations as well. And I just, want to know right off the bat, Sir Ken, this is something that I've been talking to my friends about. Do Black people care about this? Is this an issue that what our president has done in America, is this an issue that is resonating and having an impact in the Black community?
So I would say, does it affect Black people? Yes, it affects all Americans. I think it's a conversation to be had where you try to differentiate, well, are you educated or are you up to par about what's going on? Are you informed of what's going on and how it affects this country? Because again, this isn't foreign policy. It's a dominance theater. And I always say, when we do things like this, which is illegal, FYI, what has happened, what has occurred is illegal. Of course, everything that the president has done thus far has been illegal. But it's one of those things where when international law becomes optional, chaos becomes policy. And that's exactly what's just occurred on Friday. And I don't say that it affects Black people, white people, Hispanics. It affects all Americans because we will feel it one way or another. If we're not part of the MAGA cult that falls into that 1 percentile of being a billionaire, then it's going to affect us because let's just be honest, this is about oil. It's not about drugs. It's not about gang relations. It's all about oil.
So when I agree. What is happening about what our president's done is going to affect all Americans. But I am not hearing Black people raise any alarms or seeing on social media a lot of people in our community really talking about this. Why do you, or is that what you're seeing? If so, why do you think that is? Or if it's not what you're seeing, what are you actually seeing?
Well, I know for me in my educated circle of constituents, we have discussed it.
Right.
Have I seen anyone address it largely on their platforms? Like when we talk about creators or influencers, no. I haven't had anyone make any commentary on it outside of those who normally commentate on political subjects. But I think like I said, for me and my friends, when we talked about it, right, we did a deep dive on trying to understand what motivated this and what the actual intent behind it was. And I think as we dug deeper and deeper, we were extremely disturbed by the motivations, right? Because at the end of the day, to piggyback off what Sir Ken said, it really is a game of oil and energy. And how can we isolate these resources to benefit just America and America alone? And it's kind of been packaged in this. The concern is with the international drug trafficking and how it affects Mexico and the coast of Florida and all of these other countries that kind of fall in that space. And so that's the scapegoat. But the real problem is that we violated international law and international policy to go and do what our president felt.
He
could do.
Many people are going to continuously take this back and talk about what the United States has done. And I want to be clear and say this is not the United States of America.
No.
This is the unilateral action of our executive branch, our president and his cabinet and his administration. You can't say that this is the American government. You can't say that this is the United States of America because Congress did not give approval for these actions. This president circumvented Congress. He basically pissed on the United States Constitution and did what he wanted to do. And now there are a lot of people. I have not seen Black people raise the alarm a great deal myself.
Yeah.
But what I have seen them kind of raise the alarm about is why in the fuck is no one doing anything to stop him?
Right.
So, Zach, I was also going to say, I think it was that Malcolm X that said when you control the media, you control the minds. I think that's one of the things why it appears that a lot of black people are like, we don't give a fuck, or they're unaware of the severity of this, is because when you look at the large population that spends a great deal of time on social media, the algorithm is fucked. Like, the algorithm is full of like just stupid things to keep you distracted from what's really going on in the real world. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that they don't care, it's that they are pretty much, I would say, numb to the severity of the things that affect us directly and indirectly from this administration, because they're so distracted with nonsense. And also, other countries, this is a good note, other countries are aware that this is not the American people. They are aware that it is our president and his doing. So that's something to look at, I guess, on the brighter side. Like, you know, they don't look at as Americans as the enemies. They do realize that it's our president, because they too have lived through dictatorship and they know what it looks like. So they do understand that what we currently have is a prime example of a dictator. So I think we have to figure out a way, honestly, to reset the algorithms, but also highlight the people such as like yourself and Kenneth and the other people that are speaking out politically that are black, that try to be a voice for people that look like us. We just got to figure out a way how to amplify it so that black people won't feel like, oh, this is not important, or this is not something we need to be concerned about.
I think my overall biggest concern, and I've articulated this, you know, over the course of both terms of his presidency, is that, you know, when his term ends, where will that leave us standing globally? And where does that leave us standing in terms of our international relationships, our global relationships that we have with other countries? Because so many of those boundaries have been crossed, and so many of those relationships have been burnt, those bridges have been burnt, that I'm concerned that, you know, at the end of this president's term, that we're going to be left as a standalone country with no allies or any type of foreign support.
Well, according to the Peruvian predictions, they said that he's not going to make it.
They said he's going to fall
this
sick.
summer.
They didn't say that he was going to.
No, they said he was not
going to
make
really
it.
ill. I thought the
No,
Peruvians
they
said he was
said
gonna get really ill.
that he was not going to make it beyond the summer. It's a possibility that they won't make an announcement about it until later, because what they don't want is for him to, they don't want to tarnish the legacy. They don't want to make it seem like he went out just from being sick. They want to make it seem like he went out some kind of heroic way. So we'll see. They said between this summer and next year. This summer?
And next year. So
and next year.
What I thought the Peruvian priest said was it was going to be an illness, that he was going to, you know,
Not
his
the
health.
Peruvian priest gave a prophecy to
Well,
they
everything
do it
they
every
said
year.
so far
They do it every
everything
year.
they said so far, even like with this current situation,
random
has occurred.
downloads. So they had a premonition about Neymar, the soccer player, who has been plagued by a series of unfortunate illnesses around the same time every year, and they predicted that. They also predicted that Maduro would fall. And that happened shortly after. Like, literally, this was like their New Year's Eve, and boom.
My.
So we'll see about that. You know, I think that
that ain't nothing but Jesus.
I do think that I'm glad that the world as a whole is putting the blame where it belongs, but I also want to always take a moment to put the blame where it belongs, and this always falls back and belongs on the American people. I'm not going to ever let that go. We knew every fucking thing that this man was going to do before he did it from Project 2025.
Yes.
And I sat my black ass up for a fucking full year of my life, sacrificing everything I have, risking everything I have to fight and educate people about Project 2025. I was at every rally in the streets. It felt like I was really working a whole nother job, simply fighting to make sure that this man did not become our president. And I had to fight against lots of people, specifically black people, because that's my community, and queer people who were telling me that you're wrong, that's not going to happen, you're lying, there's safeguards in place. Even after this man won, I will never forget, I was driving for work and I was listening to a podcast from the Human Rights Campaign, the motherfucking gays. And they were sitting there and they had they had a goddamn trans advocate right there who was proud as fuck to say the guardrails are in place and the HRC is going to protect you. And I was thinking to myself, and I was saying, bitch, no one's going to do shit. This is not a fucking game.
But Zach,
this
you
man
gotta-
is going to dismantle every single system that this country has ever had.
But
And we are about to
He's
celebrate
actively doing it.
250 years of American democracy when that democracy is already fallen. It fell the day that the American people fucked up and reelected him.
But listen
And so,
how that sounds. How do you
I
expect?
don't give a fuck.
But that's
We
the
have
thing.
a motherfucker
How-
who just took over
but
another
that's-
goddamn country.
But that's the thing, Zach. The whole project 2025 was bogus. Okay,
It was not bogus.
It was
It's
very
real.
no. It's,
No,
it's-
hell,
no,
it was
wait.
not. If you read it, okay.
What I'm
okay.
saying is all that it entails. It's just like average person like, there's no way in hell all this is gonna happen.
Oh
You got-
shit!
but
I read it and I
listen,
fully believe.
I didn't think that all of that stuff was possible only because I have noticed we operate from a legal system that everyone is supposed to operate with integrity and in merit, and is supposed to follow the chain of command.
Follow the
So
Constitution.
that's the Constitution.
Well,
So I think that's why
Sir
a lot of
Ken,
people felt that it wasn't going to
Ken.
happen, is because this is the first time ever in history where something like this
you
has
and your-
happened. In this country, yes.
you and your tight
so
skin
people didn't think that would happen.
vastly mistook the power of the white Republican conservative.
But it's not the white
Because-
Republican conservative, it's the MAGA. So that's why I also want people to understand MAGA
But the white
and the
Republic-
Republicans are not the same.
In 2016,
In 20
that was
that was
accurate.
true. But
In
today,
2026, that
they
is
are
not
the
case.
same.
They are the same.
They are the same.
They are the same. And again, you can look at, and what's so crazy to me is that they started undoing the focus on civics, American government, and history back in the fucking 80s. And now the majority of Americans do not have an understanding of how government works by the
don't.
law of the government. And many Americans have no
'Cause they don't
concept
read.
of history.
They don't even know
They
the
don't read.
three branches.
The fact that this man was elected in the same way that Adolf Hitler was elected, the fact that this man was accused and should have gone to jail, and the way that Adolf Hitler went to jail, then to regain power and then do the same exact shit to bring down a democracy, the system, the cycles, all of it's there, all the print marks are there, and so. No, if you are a Republican in 2026, you are complicit in the MAGA agenda and you have signed on to the MAGA agenda.
I
Every
agree.
single Republican out there is co-signing this shit, and they're allowing this shit to happen. And every Democrat or person who isn't a Republican who did not vote also co-signed this shit.
I agree.
And now everyone in this country is getting exactly what we all deserve because we're all Americans and democracy rises and falls together. So I don't ever want to take the blame away from the people that made it happen. We the people, we the Americans made this happen. And we have to live in it. We have to sit in it, and we have to accept the fact that we did this to our own country. We did this to every time I went to the grocery store yesterday to buy a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to the grocery store to buy no damn shit because I don't cook. But I went in that grocery store to buy back the damn chips.
Full of air and like
Was
$7.
$5.79.
$5.79.
$5.26.
Oh, they be 79 cents.
And it's not even 25% full.
When the chips used to be $1.72 for the big bag. This is what we get for
But
what we've signed
Can
on
we
to.
really have a short discussion about the elephant that nobody seems to want to be brave enough to address?
What's the
Like
elephant?
you keep saying, like we're getting everything we deserve.
We deserve
But
it.
do you honestly feel that this man won the election fairly?
No, but I think we all said that when he won.
But you cannot
But
say that we're getting what we deserve if this guy was not placed into a leadership position fairly.
I will say this.
And nobody wants to
will
There
talk
has
go
been
about
no
that.
lawful proof.
It's been a whole fucking
Yeah,
year and
I-
nobody
I listen,
wants to
no, people
address
say
that.
it.
No, they
People say-
don't.
no.
Those credible.
Do I believe that there was election interference?
Absolutely.
I do.
Absolutely.
We literally
Yeah.
saw right here in this area where we're filming this podcast, there were bomb threats called at the end of the damn day that caused voters to have to leave.
We have a
and get out of
phone,
line.
a recorded phone call conversation.
We know that Elon Musk's son called the election 4 hours before the election was over.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that there was a level of election interference, but I do not believe that the election interference was so much.
I knew you was
so
gonna say that. I knew you was
would
gonna
have
say that.
circumvented the fact, because this is the fact is 90 million registered American voters did not vote. So no matter how much they may have been able to finagle and get some people all out of the way, it didn't compensate for the fact that more Americans did not vote than that voted for him.
I still can't get
or
with
voted
that.
for Vice
I
President
still
Harris.
can't get with that simply by the simple
That's what
fact.
it is.
I cannot get with that by the simple fact that there was cheating involved. I don't want to hear anything about the numbers unless it has been evaluated fairly, and it hasn't. I'm sorry to spit on you.
But we know 90 million people
It
didn't
doesn't
vote.
matter. It does not matter because we cannot say what would have happened unless someone finally admits that it was rigged. Because until we can actually say that, until someone can actually prove that, until someone can actually admit that, we cannot say what would have happened. We cannot say who would have been the president. We cannot say that he would have if there was no cheating.
But Sir Ken,
But
what's
we can't
understood doesn't need to be
But
explained.
then it's
I mean,
not
like, we
fair. Then
all-
it's not right for him to say that we're getting what we deserve because we didn't do this.
90 million people didn't vote. Period.
We're not doing that though.
And
we're not doing that because if that was the case, there would be no need to cheat.
Next subject, please.
We can move on to the next subject. The next subject is that your president
Here you go.
has now, but with the power of the American people invested in him by the democracy, is not only saying that he is going to control Venezuela, but he's saying that he's looking at Colombia, he's looking at Cuba. Mexico needs to tighten their shit up. He said also that he wants Greenland.
And
That's
Denmark.
not gonna happen.
And so that is, kind of what comes next. What do you think about him and his possible threats to Greenland?
First of all, treating sovereign nations like real estate is a dangerous. This is dangerous. Like
Trump
the
just
nerve of
wants
this
to-
guy. Like I honestly, last year I'm not gonna lie, I was on edge. I was really on the edge because it had gotten so much to the point where it was like you said, all the stuff that an educated or well-informed person would think is bogus actually came to fruition. So it was like I was taking everything he was saying literally. But now at this point, it's just like I'm just counting down the time. I'm counting down the time. I do have faith in the people. I do feel like this will pass. I do feel like his ass is going to be gone. I'm not worried about J.D. Vance. We will. I honestly do feel, God forbid, there's another cheating, but I do feel like we will have the majority Democrats midterms, and I feel like this is the only thing that I'm a little apprehensive about is I still feel like the Democrats are not going to have the backbone they deserve to have. And I don't feel like they're going to have the plan. We talked about this a few episodes back, is they're still playing catch up to the Republicans. We need to orchestrate, strategize, and come up with a plan, and we need to stick with it. We cannot worry about being fair. We will not get ahead trying to play fair. We are on a system where nobody's playing fair. You got to get with it, and you got to come up with something. And I feel like this would be the opportunity during the midterms if we win, which I feel like we will. And I'm not really worried about Trump because I don't feel like he's going to be around much longer. I'm not worried about J.D. Vance because when we do have the majority, we can handle all that.
But I think that you are oversimple. I think many black people that I talk to, and I think the Democratic Party is doing themselves a disservice because they're focused, win the House. And I think Democrats are going to win the House.
Yeah.
I think that, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is going to be the first black man to be Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Yes.
An amazing feat.
Yes.
An amazing feat. But nothing will change when that happens other than the fact that they will be in a position to slow down the Trump agenda. And I need black people to understand that. The fucking House, a House majority has no power to do anything other than create laws.
Yes.
With a majority.
Mm-hmm.
And that majority will then go to the Republican-controlled Senate where
Yeah.
they're going to vote
Vote
the
and
shit
sit
down.
down.
Yeah.
Okay? So
I just
I
feel-
need-
I-
because
but I feel- but
this
that's-
is let me give you the cycle. Because this is the black people's fucking cycle in this country that has pissed me off. And I hate to be so, but I'm like,
Vulgar.
Passionate. You're passionate.
I'm being vulgar if you want to say that
You're being
because
passionate.
our president has invaded the fucking country.
I know.
Yeah.
If this is not the time to take the goddamn guardrails off myself, then there's never going to be a time.
Yeah.
This is the problem with black people is that we will go out and vote and say, I voted. I did my part. I cast my vote. And we got them in and you are not doing anything. They're going to consider, that's what they continuously want to say is that the Democrats aren't doing anything. They can't do shit. when they have one part of a two-part branch.
Yeah.
It's a bicameral branch of government. So it literally has to be Democrats need to have need to be a majority in the House and a majority in the Senate. And it really needs to be veto-proof 60.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's not
60.
going to happen in
not gonna
one
happen.
voting cycle.
Yes, no.
So we have to be understanding that this is a long road up. We were right there. We were right fucking there. I need to say this because people need to fucking know this. It needs to be a goddamn clip. We were fucking right there as we were climbing up this fucking mountain when we elected Joe Biden. And we put all this fucking work in 4 years ago in the state of Georgia where we are right now.
Yeah.
This week, 4 years ago, was the payoff of Georgia flipping blue.
Yeah.
When we sent not only 16 delegates to Joe Biden, but 2 Democratic senators from a state that was a stronghold of slavery.
Yes.
The first black man ever elected to serve in the Senate from the state of Georgia, only the 11th black person in history. And Reverend Raphael Warnock. We did that just 4 years. So we were on the verge of getting there. We had a Democratic president. We had a Democratic control of the House. We were right there. All we did not have was the Senate. That's all we lacked. And we were on the route. And we lost all of it in 4 years. We sat on our asses and we lost everything. And we allowed people to make us believe that other issues superseded our own individual well-being in this country. We let people, talking heads just like us, on their goddamn podcast, on their fucking platforms,
convince us that it was going to be a landslide.
Black people that we had other things to worry about other than ourselves. We had other people, other groups, other countries, other shit that superseded our needs. And now look at us. 600,000 black women are currently unemployed in this country. 600,000. Highly qualified, highly educated black women with tons of student loan debt, unable to even get interviews because if they get hired, the fucking company says it's DEI.
Yeah.
This is where we are. We are seeing our HBCUs defunded. We are going to see our own personal debt increase significantly in a couple of fucking weeks because this motherfucker is now going to force a garnishment on our wages over student loans.
And my medical insurance just went up by 602%.
Say it again.
My medical insurance as of January 1st, 2026, I just made the payment because I was contemplating like, fuck, I'm not going to have, because I pay out of pocket for my medical insurance because I'm self-employed. I literally had to sit here and decide, do I want to have medical insurance or not? Because it literally, people thought I was lying until I showed the letter. My medical insurance went up by 602%. I went from $568 to $4,000.
$4,000 a year.
A month.
A year.
A month.
Do you hear that? A motherfucking month.
A month.
That is what. And so when Donald Trump sat his orange ass up and said to you blacks, what do you have to lose? Bitch, do you see what the fuck you done lost? Do you see?
You're insane. But
and
yes, you got your points across.
What's insane
Here we go.
is hearing the stakes of of hearing all that was at risk, all that's at stake, all that's at play, and still supporting a goddamn company like Target.
Oh, God.
Just because you want some oils for that scalp of yours and some Givenchy.
I'm just saying, that's what...
You can't buy Givenchy at Target.
Might as well. They use the same ingredients. They just put the name on
I just
there.
went to buy Tabitha Brown's hair products. I'm sorry.
And see, this is why...
That's why we can't have
That's
nice
why we
things.
can't have shit.
That's why we can't have nice
Because
things.
I didn't boycott Target.
No, because you didn't stand for something. You folded. And all we asked for you to wait.
When you talk about asses folded, we're talking about Donnie McClurkin.
Oh my God!
We're talking about. We now move into. We went from matters of the crown to the royalty, and Donnie McClurkin. And people, I made a video about this. Some people, I said Donnie McClurkin, an ex-gay, has
It's McClurkin.
Oh, is that how you say it?
You put two L. It's Clarkin.
How do I say it?
Donnie McClurkin.
Donnie McClurkin.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. I don't know. I
Okay.
ain't never listened to a motherfucker like that.
What do you do?
Is that what he sings?
He sings. It's one of his songs. Go ahead.
No, didn't he sing "We Fall Down, but We Get Up"?
Yes.
And he got up. Okay, they said he was keeping it up. For Giuseppe Corletto is what the allegations are.
They always light.
I don't. Yeah, he's light. I don't know his actual race and ethnicity, but there are allegations now against ex-gay.
You're right about that.
There are now allegations out against ex-gay Donnie McClurkin
Ex-gay.
Allegedly.
Who said it?
Listen,
Allegedly.
I am old enough to remember
That is
when
stupid.
He talked about the sex.
I'm old enough to remember when Donnie McClurkin said that he had been delivered.
I don't recall that.
From homo. He said he was delivered from homosexuality.
I thought he was saying like from. I thought
What?
it was. I thought it was just like sex, like molestation. I didn't think that it was tied to same
he
sex.
specifically said that he had
molestation.
same sex struggles,
Yeah, same sex.
and that
struggles.
through prayer and a lot of
Deliverance.
counsel,
Yeah.
he was delivered from homosexuality.
And so that's
Child, I didn't know homosexuality was a sin.
The definition of an
According to y'all
ex-gay
religion.
is that you are delivered from that, and that means you're now an ex-gay. So that's why I call him ex-gay Donnie McClurkin. And so ex-gay Donnie McClurkin, though, has allegations from a young man named Giuseppe Corlato, who he allegedly met in 2003 when Giuseppe was
His assistant, right?
Well, Giuseppe was 21 years old, and Giuseppe specifically sought out Donnie McClurkin, which I think is a really, makes the allegations to me, if any way true, more, as you would say, vile. Donnie he sought out Donnie because he was struggling with same-sex attraction. So he had heard and saw that Donnie McClurkin had overcome that. So he literally sought him out, went to his church, became a member, and then became his assistant. And so from 2003, he was 21. Then it was until it was in 2007, allegedly, that the first instance of sexual assault and abuse occurred.
So are you saying that it was premeditated, that he wanted to try to lure him?
Corlato was not trying to lure Donnie. He was going
But
to
you
Donnie
said
for
because he heard-
spiritual mentorship and to learn.
Oh,
and
so he
see
could
How to
okay.
be
could
delivered from
as
being
well.
homosexual.
Got you.
Both of them had similar childhood experiences of violation, and so he thought that Donnie would be, and that's what he says now in his lawsuit, his allegation. And he said that they were nothing happened until 2007, and then it was an ongoing cycle of years of abuse.
So
That's
this
what
is
the allegations are.
This is what I don't really like to dwell very much into topics where it pertains to religion, because I always tell people, I speak about it. I'm more spiritual than religious, and I don't really subscribe to organized religions, but I don't fault anyone that chooses to do so. I respect all of that. Just for me, I always get so uncomfortable when I hear situations like this, because I feel like a lot of smoke comes up because people feel that if you focus on your faith, then you don't have to be accountable. You don't have to be held accountable. And so I always tell people your faith should never be a shield from accountability. And it sucks because the church forgives fast, but protects the institutions faster. And I feel like this is just another case that ultimately will probably just get swept under the rug. And it's a case that happens all too often. And again, it's just protection from the religious leaders, and they use the faith as their shield. And, like I said, I try to like avoid those conversations because I'll go way on the deep end because I've studied theology, and it's just very unfortunate.
I don't know that it'll be swept under the rug. I think we are in a precedented time where there's a lot of particularly black male figures who are being accused of sexual assault, and I think that there's something to be said about that, because we can see that, as we look at Diddy, Tyler Perry, now Donnie McClurkin, and some of the others that have been named, Will Smith, I saw had one named, you see that there's a traumatic history, right? Most of which allegedly, based on some of these lawsuits, have been associated with molestation that they've experienced in their childhoods as well. And if you know anything about the cycle of sexual assault and child molestation, it's not entirely uncommon for there to be a certain level of hypersexuality or sexual assault that takes place through the victim, who now then becomes the the assaulter, if you get what I'm saying. And so that's not uncommon. And the only reason why
It's coping.
Right. And the only reason
coping
why I know this
mechanism.
is because, I did a sexual assault episode on my podcast, and I talked about being a victim of sexual harassment and then having to experience what that was like on the opposite end. And not that I had never, sexually harassed or assaulted anyone, but dealing with the hypersexuality of that, right? And trying to reclaim your power, as a victim. It's not something that's entirely uncommon. But what I want to say specifically about Donnie McClurkin is that, as someone who has been public about his struggle with homosexuality, I find it hard to believe that he has not made many unaccounted advances at many young men or men in general.
I'm thankful that
and I know that Donnie isn't.
I'm thankful that this alleged allegation came from an adult.
From an adult, yes.
From the adult age of 21 up. But I want to
But
say...
many of those gospel singers, Donnie's not the only one.
Oh,
He's just the only one that's been called out.
I want to reframe a word. I don't embrace or accept the fact that Donnie McClurkin is struggling with homosexuality. I don't believe you struggle with it. This motherfucker...
Oh, no, I don't... Yeah.
Donnie McClurkin...
I actually have to disagree with that.
You struggle with that shit. I'm going to tell you what I
disagree with that because
Donnie McClurkin is struggling with the suppression of his
struggling with the
own
suppression.
personal
It's very
desires.
different.
It's not
It's
the
very
same
different.
thing.
It's very
Homosexuality
different.
isn't a struggle. The suppression of what you may want, what you may desire, who you may be. That's a struggle.
Okay,
Yes.
Right?
I can agree with that.
That's like,
then.
you might be an evil, mean bitch.
Yes.
And you're trying to be
He is.
nice today.
He
You
is.
know what I'm saying? You struggle, you try to suppress that.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
And
So
the bitch
I
just
agree
keep
with
rising
that.
up.
But my question to this is, why do you feel like protecting the pulpit is prioritized over protecting the people?
Because the church is a business and is an institution. You have to think about it like protecting how HR serves to protect the CEO and the board and the reputation of the company, right? The pulpit sits as the nucleus of the church. The congregation, the deacons, the deaconesses, the church faculty and staff, they all sit there to protect the president. I mean, not protect the president, protect the
CEO.
pastor, right? Which is ideally the CEO. And so it's completely understandable why that would happen and why it's structured and framed that way. But people often disassociate those capitalist, business kind of structures and forms with the church, and I don't know why. Because the church is one of the biggest businesses in America.
Yeah.
Said that was I agree 110% with that.
Yeah.
I agree 110% with what you just said, and that is very true. But again, it is also at 100% wrong, and that it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But I'm
honestly, you're right.
I'm empathetic on both sides because honestly, I feel like if it was taught that being a homosexual or a member of the LGBT or the queer community overall is not a sinful thing or a way of living or a life that you would be condemned for, I feel like we wouldn't have as many of these accounts that we do. And I guess for me, why I say I'm empathetic with Donnie is because it's all, like you said, about suppressing. And I think the guilt of shame and trying to live this life that obviously is unattainable.
So you empathize with Donnie, but you can't empathize with me for going to Target and buying some products?
No.
You crazy as hell.
Absolutely
So
not.
it's crazy as hell to me.
Hell no.
You empathize with somebody who committed sexual assault and committed a felony, but I went to motherfucking Target to buy a black woman's product? Y'all are stupid as hell. Y'all are dumb.
So for me, it's different because I grew up in a super uber Southern Christian household.
I have an answer for you. Let me say this. Because you sat there and you have acknowledged your own growth in spirituality, and I appreciate that. But Zachary Kirk
we know
is extremely
We know.
religious, and I'm very proud to be that. Right, I'm a very.
But everybody can't.
Let me finish.
Everybody can't be religious like you and be a hoe and be comfortable.
Whoa.
Most people struggle with trying to find a balance, and that's why I say I feel empathetic towards him.
Let me tell you why I can be religious and be comfortable with the decisions I make in how I express myself and how I express my sexuality and how I've chosen to live my life in a way that is pleasing to the God that I serve, right? Now, let me tell you how I'm able to do that. Because I do exactly what Donnie McClurkin should have set his ass up and fucking done. I have studied to show myself approved.
You better
Yes.
you better
Now, I
say
may have
that.
grown up
Yes.
in a church
I know
that
that's
may have
right.
taught me X, Y, and Z,
Hallelujah.
but I did not accept or embrace those notions
Thank you,
of faith
Jesus.
for myself until I read the Bible, until I studied the
Yes,
Word,
God.
until I went beyond that and studied multiple theologies and multiple
That's exactly
theologians,
it, yes.
multiple scholars to say what is real and what is right. And one thing I can say about the truth, one thing I can say that's undeniable about the truth in all of its forms is that when you hear it, you fucking know it.
And then
when you hear
Yes,
the
God.
truth,
Yes,
you
Jesus.
know the
You know it.
He playing with the Lord.
No, I'm being for
No,
real.
he's
Because you're
not.
speaking
See,
a
there you
word.
go.
But when
No,
you
you're
hear
speaking a
it,
talking
word.
about
But
right
when
there.
you hear it, you know it.
My
And
mama
that's
used to
all I gotta
always
say.
say. My mama used to always say you have to read the Bible for your own understanding.
That's right.
I'm someone.
So I need to get you a Bible.
No, you don't.
Yes. I get
No,
you
you
a
don't.
Bible.
'Cause you said-
No, because and see, that's what you don't have to do. Because for me, I have my own personal relationship with God, and I don't have to. I can take aspects from every single religion and apply it to one whole entity that I want and I deem as my savior, my God. And at the end of the day, what people fail to realize, when you look at all the religions that exist, they all come
do.
back
They
have
to
universe-
They do.
a universal.
I studied philosophy
so-
and religion.
That's
They
true.
do. They do.
And so I don't have to. I have my own personal
Well,
relationship.
you got to do
and I
something.
do what I
if
do.
if you talking about you
And-
empathize with a sexual assault,
Alleged.
sexual
Let's just
assaulter. That's just
let's
crazy
pray
to
that
me.
maybe this isn't true. For
I hope
Donnie.
it is true.
What is true for Kevin
'Cause he
McCall?
did it.
What is true for Kevin McCall is that he is extremely concerned about the sexuality of Chris Brown. Now, Kevin McCall, I don't even know who he is. I've seen.
He's Eva Marcel's baby daddy.
Bam.
Okay.
Because that's when he was real. That's when he was real fine.
That's
That's when he was real
He
fine.
turned her every which way but loose.
Okay.
Yes,
And
he
she may have
showed
been
it.
turning him everywhere but
She
loose,
is a
too.
Scorpio.
Because I understand, right? She's a Scorpio, and I know some stories of.
Well, I don't know because she was running.
Eva the
She was
diva.
running from him though.
I know
Nah,
some
Eva
stories
can
of
get some
Eva
hell
the-
now. Eva
All
can
right,
get,
she
got some
knows how to
hell.
work that tongue.
She know how to work it now.
I know Eva the diva from her time at Clark, but let
Yes,
me say this.
Clark.
Giovanna.
Yeah, I know some things. So yeah, I know. I know a little Eva Diva. So listen. So Kevin McCall posted this on Twitter. He said, "At Chris Brown official, you are real hashtag effeminate bro. I'm tired of the passive gay vibes. I'm gonna start airing niggas homoerotic thug and tranny stories every day until I run out of stories. Why you think I was hanging around girls with dirt and videos of all you industry niggas sucking on fucking and things? Ha ha." I saw it. So I know we got some tension, brother, but I like pussy, bro. And you can keep putting fake ass bounty hits on my head. It's not cute anymore, King. That's feminine without the E, like Diddy. Not macho like Tupac. Me and you are not the same, but play that game. It worked both ways like your sexuality. Play ball if you
Is
want.
he rapping?
Play ball if you want. God gonna do you like your two buddies that tried to fight me. One is gone and one can't walk. Don't miss my point. God's karma comes swift for his children. I'm not going to do anything. God is going to ruin whoever tried to ruin a child of God. God didn't tell me this part, but it's sad when light-skinned people try to treat dark people like hashtag field niggas.
Okay, you can stop.
Well, that's
that's a
it.
lot.
Yeah, we
But-
get it.
So
So
my whole thing with that
okay.
is, first of all, anything tied to anyone that's sitting here crying about their food stamps being cut off is kind of like, we can't have the same type of conversation, okay? And secondly, yeah, we can't have the same
Why we can't have
conversation
a conversation about it? Who cried
Because
about their
this
food
is-
stamps cut off?
because first of all, he shouldn't even been on food stamps.
Why he shouldn't have been on food stamps? He hasn't had a
Because-
song or a gig in
So
ages.
that means he didn't invest his money properly because he utilized it in avenues he shouldn't have. But anyway, that's another story. Outing someone
bro.
isn't truth. It's violence, okay?
outing
And
someone,
outing
isn't
someone
truth,
is not truth. It's violence.
Okay.
And using
So you
queerness
think
as
Chris Brown was outed?
No, I'm just saying in general, that's what he's thinking that he's doing. And using queerness as a weapon exposes fragile masculinity. And he has already exposed of how not masculine he is in his previous interviews that he's had on the Breakfast Club and all these other outlets. He just wants attention. And it sucks that we are now in 2026 and sexuality is still being treated like a scandal.
I don't think sexuality is being treated
no.
as a scandal. I think when it comes to the entertainment industry, right? I think when we pull the veil from the entertainment industry, and we really talk about some of the satanic, demonic, and extremely homoerotic things that are happening, and I'm not associating homoerotic things with satanic or demonic things. I want to clear that up, but I'm saying all of those things are parts of these rituals and these sacrifices and all of these things that people are doing to gain fame and money and access in this industry. So it's not something that is entirely uncommon being brought up, especially about when we talk about superstars like Chris Brown. Now, one of the most difficult things that I think the public struggles with, and I think people are actually starting to tap into it thanks to the Diddy case, is that people actually are doing this, right, to gain some sort of acceptance or...
So you think it's part of a humiliation ritual?
Absolutely, 100%. The entertainment industry and the music industry in particular are very known for humiliation rituals. Yes. Particularly with men, to help them gain some sort of fame or access.
But why is queerness still the industry favorite?
No,
Why is queerness still the favorite?
Well, we know why.
Okay, tell us why.
Because
I don't know why.
You
I
don't know
either.
why. I mean,
I don't
homosexuality has always been one of the driving factors of trying to emasculate a man or make a man not seem as good enough or as valid enough in his masculinity or in his manhood. And so I think the entertainment industry and the music industry have adapted that mindset to use it as a form of humiliation, because for a very long time, there were not a lot of artists or actors or entertainers in general who were comfortable with coming forth about their sexuality. And so now that we're living in more modern times, people are being more upfront about the fact that, oh, this singer has a vice for trans women or trans men. Like this like it's something that's coming out now, right? Like let's go back to that video. I don't know if you guys have seen the video of Laverne Cox and
talking about her boyfriend, her ex was MAGA.
No. Oh. There was a video of someone asked her about someone coming forth about the fact that they were comfortable with dating, that they were either gay or comfortable with dating someone who was trans, and Laverne said, "Oh, I wish more of them did." Because behind the veil is understood that a lot of these men, and I'm speaking about men in particular, have these desires of homosexuality, to have these homoerotic experiences with other men or with trans
I think the male species in general is just nothing
they're not forthcoming about it. But to my point though, one thing I want to add is that Kevin McCall is out his motherfucking mind. He's been mentally ill for several years. This is not anything new. So we should take what he says with a grain of salt. But I don't want to negate the fact that humiliation ritual, specifically through the lens of homosexuality and transphobia, is always used as a way to invoke some type of fear or blackmail over people who are seeking fame in the entertainment industry.
So when you think about seeking fame in the entertainment industry, we're talking about giving a queen a crown, someone who has actually garnered a lot of fame and who is extending out her empire. And this week's crown is going to Megan Thee Stallion, who actually opened up her very first franchise. It's a Popeyes.
Actually, her second as of today.
Oh my God! So, well, she opened the first one up.
Damn, she opened two.
In Miami,
she opened 2 days apart.
South Beach, but now she has 2.
She has Dunkin' Donuts now.
She has a Dunkin' Donuts of
very
her own.
Smart girl.
Very
she
smart.
is
I love
making
it.
these huge investments, and I think this is a real role model for men and women. But such a great thing for a black woman to accomplish.
It's amazing. I'm a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan, and I had this conversation with one of my homegirls yesterday. Like, I always try to be that person where I don't try to tell someone how to be a certain way if I'm not doing it myself. So you'll never hear me preaching what I don't live. And so my admiration for Megan Thee Stallion has always stemmed from her still trying to pursue her dream of being a rapper, but also not losing hindsight of fulfilling her obligation to finish her degree. She did that. She got her college degree. She became a rapper. She's always, been having that tunnel vision of doing the right thing for the communities. And now she's getting ownership. She's franchised. And like I said, she did the Popeyes. We tried to go there last weekend, but it was crazy.
Oh,
and then,
it was a lot.
it was like pure pandemonium. And I like when she spoke to the staff when she was there. She specifically said, Popeyes, certain franchises, they have a reputation for bad customer service. And so she literally told them, she said, I respect every one of you guys. I want to introduce myself to all of you, and I want y'all to introduce yourselves to me. But at the end of the day, when we come here to work, I want everyone to have a positive attitude. I don't want any of that cattiness, no bitchiness, no meanness to any of the customers. Like, she literally was there giving them a rundown, not only as an owner, but as a person, just to be human and say, hey, I have been in an environment. I know what it's like. Let's not do that, because at the end of the day, we all want to just work, make our money. We want to go home. We want to get our food and go home as well. And so I take my hat off to her.
Megan's a good girl. She's a smart girl. I think she's always been, though. And I think it takes a special kind of strength to, be charting the way that she has, both literally and figuratively, be in front of the public eye, fight what is arguably one of the biggest lawsuits that we've seen.
Yes.
Still. She's still fighting it. And still maintain some sense of optimism and upkeep just around her mental, financial, and emotional well-being.
This is how generational wealth is built.
Yeah.
So y'all take notes. This is how it's built. So my hat off to her.
She took a note from Shaq's book.
She sure did. Now Shaq got the money.
Shaq did really
Everything.
well when he invested in Papa John's and
the General.
Yeah, and the General Insurance, Wingstop. Same
Dunkin'
as Rick
Donuts,
Ross.
not Dunkin' Donuts. Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. So did Rick Ross. So she, it's a smart way. And we've seen how Rick Ross is living. Just drive.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how he has so much money.
Because he invested in a lot of those franchises. I mean, he was really smart. So.
And has done well. That kind of concludes, kind of brings us towards the end of this episode 6. I want to know from you guys, just kind of throwing out there some things that maybe you saw in the news that we didn't bring into the agenda yet. Any issues that you want to talk about or bring in? I have a few, but you guys go see what you think.
You go first.
Any that I saw that we didn't bring in? I don't have any. One thing that I have wanted to talk about that we have not touched on is the concerning disappearance of Ariana Grande.
Okay. And her counterpart, what's her name?
Yeah,
the black girl,
Cynthia Erivo.
They both are disappearing.
They're remarkably thin.
Like skeleton skinny.
But it's
I thought you meant like they were in the media. You meant that they're like
disappearing before our eyes.
Skinny.
And they don't look healthy.
Or healthy.
They look pale. Ariana Grande looks pale. Like if you look
her
at
eyeballs
old
are so
videos
big,
of her, she's not the
like
same
that.
skin tone.
It's scary. It's weird.
And they seem to have this very
weird relationship.
Yes.
It's very like
I don't even want to call it weird. It just seems like
robotic, like they're cultish or
they're
something.
intimate in a way,
but not intimate.
I think maybe that's by design. I think that there's a level of marketing. I really think a lot of things, as someone who has a career, I guess, in marketing, it is a lot about how you choose to market certain things. And I think
I don't have a problem with it.
No, I think their relationship was created to fuel this film and to fuel around it. I think a lot of things in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry is manufactured for certain purposes. Like, I don't believe that Megan Thee Stallion is really dating that guy that she's dating.
Oh, yes, she is.
I know.
Oh, yes.
Why don't you believe it?
Oh, yes, she is. Trust me.
I believe.
Didn't they get married?
No.
Okay.
Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion is not wanting. That's not her type. And
yes, it is.
That's not her type.
Trust me.
What's her type?
It ain't no goofy ass golf
but that's
man.
not
Okay.
all.
I thought he was a basketball player.
He's a basketball player of golf. Anyway,
that's not all that.
But again,
got her.
Megan
The
had
man?
No, that ain't all.
He's talking about that man's endowment.
Oh, he has a big weed reader.
Megan doesn't care about no endowments like that. I think Megan ain't want no burrito. Megan be wanting that taco.
But I think that's where
What does that mean?
I think that's where it comes with maturity.
What's a burrito and a taco?
She's been with a lot of guys, and I think you get to a point.
I know damn well you know what a burrito is because you be chomping down on them motherfucking burritos. You may not be eating up in them tacos, but you be eating them motherfucking burritos.
Oh my God.
Now listen.
Yeah, I think that
So
it comes to
vulgar.
a point where you're like, okay, well, this type's not working for me.
Megan, maybe, and that's possible. But what I see on social media is very much manufactured.
I like how y'all just took my topic
like
and brought it
them
up. Man,
together.
I'm talking about Ariana
I
Grande.
get it, but I'm saying
I like them
think it's
together.
manufactured. I think I think again, Megan was having, in some people's eyes, a PR roadblock with certain demographics. And I think that this man was also having rumors and allegations about him. Bringing them together is a way of helping both careers. I think the exact same thing happens with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I think it's all
he don't want no unseasoned chicken like Taylor. Now my next thing
He
though.
been liking that fried chicken for a
there you
long
go.
time. Okay, with hot sauce.
There
But
you
what
go.
help did Taylor
But-
Swift need?
But my next thing that I want to talk about was what do you think about Charlamagne's new deal with iHeart?
I
The $2
think
million
you know
deal.
He doesn't like Charlemagne.
I don't.
He
You
doesn't care.
don't?
No.
I
Ooh.
don't like Charlamagne.
He doesn't.
I didn't know that.
I don't
That's
like
not why I asked you.
No,
We
I
have
don't,
been
I don't
in
like
a-
Leonard McKelvey. I don't like Leonard McKelvey, but because I don't call
Leonard.
his name is
Leonard.
Leonard.
In the words of Monique, Leonard. Okay, but why don't you like
in
him?
terms of the deal, because he's a coon. But in
Don't
terms
say
of
that.
the deal,
We've been in the same building, the same room, at the same time. And Zach
With Charlamagne?
Yeah. The last time we were
You
together,
found yourself in a lot of rooms, Sir Ken.
Huh?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Why don't you like him?
You said I've been
I
in a
just
lot of
told
rooms.
you, but
We've
you
been in
were
rooms
saying-
together.
but this speaks to who I am, right? So we have been in that room, and all you motherfuckers was lined up to take photos.
Yeah.
and he
And
was
what did
like,
I say? I'll take
Sir
it.
Ken, I'm gonna take the picture for you.
Because I don't want to
like,
speak to this motherfucker. But let me
He's
say,
such a hater.
But let me say this: despite my dislike of him and how he has moved, how he has
You gotta
operated,
respect the hustle.
the way that he has betrayed the black community by
He
betraying
has,
Kamala
but he's
Harris
took-
and Stacey Abrams and so many other black women for his own political gain and expense, and he'll drop everything for a bag of 40 pieces of silver. What I will say is that the iHeart deal is a smart move for him and very well could open the door for other black people so that they may also be able to advance.
But
So
look
I appreciate that.
Look
for
at
him
who
for
he
that.
came up
Yeah.
with, though. Look at who his mentor was. Do you really expect anything different?
Wendy Williams.
And she has loyalty to no one.
I
This is
agree
true.
with that. So again, who you are with is and that's why I always question the black men, the gays who aspire and who model themselves after Wendy Williams.
Well, I'm not
that's
gay. I'm a
strange.
pansexual,
I don't
and
give a fuck.
You are?
I am.
You can
And-
have sex with all the pans you want, bitch. You can be a pot sexual
What?
for all I care. I'm just saying.
But I started my radio show because of Wendy Williams,
Well,
Howard Stern,
well,
and Charlamagne the God.
Wendy
I actually
Williams,
like
Howard
them.
Stern,
Well,
and
let's talk-
Charlamagne the God cannot be
Yes.
used in the same sentence.
You sitting
Yes.
here, you
Yes.
are a Wendy Williams. I'm a Oprah Winfrey. Two
I like
types-
Oprah
I'm
as
an Oprah
well.
Winfrey too, Zach. I'm an
So-
Oprah
I like
Winfrey too.
Oprah as
You
well.
be a
Oprah
Wendy,
too.
I'll be a Oprah.
I'm a Tamara Hall. I'm really more like Tamara.
You more like
But-
Jennifer Hudson. But before we wrap up, I want to give another queen. I want to give another.
Well, Jennifer's still kicking.
A little
Jennifer
birdie-
and
a little
EGOT.
birdie told
Wendy
me.
somewhere in her
Nah,
damn
but
mind.
seriously, no,
but that
wait.
damn show is horrible.
Zach,
It is
Zach,
so bad.
Zach,
It's so
I want to
bad.
give
Okay,
another.
give another
I want
queen. Give
another
another
queen
crown.
a
You
crown
can give a crown.
because this is someone I follow for a very, very, very long time, and she doesn't really make a lot of noise, but she's very philanthropic, and she was just doing. She hosted the Critics' Choice Awards this past weekend. That's Chelsea Handler, and I've been watching her for like over a decade. Huge, huge, huge fan of her, and she's actually a white woman that actually does the work. She don't go out and try to advertise what she does or remind people what she does for people, especially in the black community. But she's done a lot, and I thought
What
about.
has she done?
I'm getting ready to tell you. If you let me
Okay.
let me get my breath.
'Cause I don't think we really give crowns to non-black women.
Well, we can,
Yeah, okay,
and
I
I
mean,
am
Well,
because
Sir Ken, don't belabor the
I
point
am-
now, because
I'm
you take
gonna-
a long time to get to the end of the sentence.
I'm sorry. I'm
Shit.
sorry. I'm
Hurry
long-winded.
up.
I'm
Fuck.
long-winded. But one of the things when I watched the recap of the Critics' Choice Awards and how she she put out Variety, how they try to downplay sinners, and how she talked about some of the racist white supremacists or whatever. But I thought about that time. I think it was either Trayvon Martin or it was someone else when the Black Lives Matters was like really starting to like take off. she not only spoke about it, she not only donated, but I remember one of those things she said. She says a white woman, she doesn't know everything, and she doesn't want someone black to try to educate her. She's going to take the initiative to educate herself. But also during that whole time, for 2 weeks straight, what she did was she got all the black political activists and organizers and gave them complete access to all her social media platforms, and they utilized it every single day for 2 weeks straight. And that way, they were able to use her platform of millions of followers to educate them, to inform them, and to enlighten them about what's going on and to be aware. And so that's why I really want to give a crown off to her, because just what she did at the Critics' Choice Awards is a constant reminder of that person she's always been when it comes to doing the right thing.
Oh, and we applaud her for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
That's
give
cute.
her an applause. I just want to say, and I'm excited to see the new season of Traitors. And see, how that rolls out. I'm a fan of Candace Dillon-Brissett. Can't wait to see her on that
Love
platform.
Candace.
So we'll
Yes.
see, how that
My mouth
goes.
has often been associated with Candace's mouth.
I see similarities. So I am excited about that. And I think that's the only other thing that I have. I look forward to next week and seeing what we have and what very well, will transpire. Hopefully this is going to be a slow week.
Yeah.
I hope things slow down. Like, I hate to say
Well,
it, but
things can't slow
bring
down
it-
too much because you are supposed to be getting married this year. So we want to,
It is coming.
let's keep us up to date of the process of that.
So far, no progress. But
okay.
see, God moves fast.
He do.
God
Oh.
moves fast. I mean, it could be like in the
Boom.
twinkling of an eye, bam, and it has been. So with that being said, we'll see you all next week.
Brevity, Sir Ken. Look up that word.
Oh, my computer just died.
Oh.
Sorry, next time.